Environment Canada says a multi-day heat event is headed for Saskatoon. What are the city and its residents doing to beat the heat? A jump in gas prices overnight being felt by drivers in Saskatchewan. How the war in Iran is impacting the price here in the city. And on the 8th anniversary of Ashley Morin's disappearance, RCMP renew calls for the public to come forward.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Chantel is off tonight. I'm John Flatters. Some immigrants living in Saskatchewan say they're having trouble accessing health care. The NDP suggests a recent policy was changed, while the province says these rules have been in place for a long time. Keenan Sorokon reports.
Yuri Pogrebnoy says a recent trip to the doctor had him being asked to pay out of pocket for care because his work permit is expired, and it's more than he can afford.
I have problem. If I sick today, I pay tax, I try building future, I not have any covers. I can't go to hospital.
Immigrants living in Canada under implied status have expired work permits, and they're waiting on the federal government to approve or deny their application. This process can take many months, and during that time, people on implied status can still hold a health card if they have proof they're trying to extend or renew their current permit. But the NDP says people coming to them over the last few months say the health authority won't allow them to renew their health card until they can provide a valid work permit.
I talked to a woman who's awaiting life-saving surgery who isn't sure if she can afford it or how she'll pay for it.
Whether it's an oversight or not, Jorgensen says this is not how the province should be treating people trying to make a life here.
I think it's wrong. Yuri's paying taxes. Taxes pay for health care. He should have health coverage.
The province says an active work or study permit from the federal government is required to get a health card. Those on implied status can get a one-time 6-month extension from the province while their permit application is being processed by the federal government. The province says each health card application is reviewed using the information and supporting documentation provided to determine whether the individual meets the established eligibility requirements. The province says this is a long-standing policy and no recent changes have been made. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Canada is warning of several days of hot, humid weather across much of the province. Stacey Hine now on how Saskatchewan residents are keeping cool.
Many Saskatchewan residents are getting outside as Environment Canada forecasts several days of hot, humid weather across much of the province.
I'm going straight to the beach right after work.
Hopefully go swimming, eating a lot of ice cream.
I like the heat, so I feel like I'm going to go for a nice little walk in the sun, and then I'll probably find myself at a cafe in some AC, finish up some work.
A heat warning remains in effect for much of the province, with temperatures in the Saskatoon area expected to reach the mid-30s this weekend, and humidex values climbing into the low 40s.
Where you are in the province, it could be slightly varying in terms of the amount of heat you're going to see and the amount of humidity you're going to see, but in general, it's going to be hot and pretty moist across much of the province at this point in time.
In Saskatoon, the city has activated its emergency heat response. Officials say seniors living in apartments or condos without air conditioning and those with certain health conditions are most vulnerable.
We're really asking the residents of Saskatoon, just reach out to your neighbors, to your family, to your friends, and check how they're doing if they live in that kind of a situation.
The city says it has extended the hours of spray pads and there are cooling locations and misting tents available. It's also urging people to stay out of the South Saskatchewan River, saying conditions remain dangerous.
We're asking people to stay off the river, of course, because there's lots of places you can cool down in Saskatoon.
The hot weather is also drawing people to the downtown Saskatoon sidewalk sale.
The rain and the hail, everybody was indoors, so nice weather. People are kind of a little claustrophobic. It brings them downtown.
With temperatures climbing, vendors are also finding ways to beat the heat.
We're trying to stay as hydrated as we can. Some of us have brought personal fans so that we can just keep cool in this muggy heat.
A slight cool down is expected early next week, but temperatures are forecasted to remain in the mid to high 20s for several days. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, Stacey's right, and the environment people are definitely predicting some more humidity, and you could feel it today. What's going on with that, Jeff?
Well, you hit it right there, John. We're talking about hot and humid conditions. We've got so much moisture on the ground that this shouldn't surprise any of us that the humidity is going to be significant, and the heat. We've got a big heat dome down in the U.S., and that is pushing some of that energy and that heat and those warm conditions that into our area. And we've got some troubling lines of storms that are moving across. We have had reports of some funnel clouds. We'll show you some of that a little later on, but we had a bit of a thunderstorm in the Saskatoon area. It wasn't widespread, but it's certainly been showing up, and not a surprise with the reflection we're getting off the radar. And we'll talk more about what's to come later on.
Saskatoon police have charged a 15-year-old boy after a stabbing yesterday. Officers were called to the 1700 block of Preston Avenue North around 10 o'clock last night for reports of a man who was stabbed near a business. The 41-year-old was found with non-life-threatening injuries. Police searched the area and located the suspect. A canine unit was used to find a knife in the area. The 15-year-old is charged with breach of probation and possession of a dangerous weapon. Police have renewed pleas for information about a woman who's been missing for 8 years. Ashley Morin was 31 years old when she went missing from North Battleford on this day in 2018. For years, investigators have treated her disappearance as a homicide and have searched for any sign of her multiple times along the North Saskatchewan River. Today, the RCMP is saying Morin's case remains active with its historical case unit. RCMP believe there are still people who may not have come forward with critical information. Investigators believe multiple people were involved in Morin's disappearance, and they're pleading with anyone who was involved to share what they know. A 32-year-old has died after being hit by a truck near North Battleford. Battleford's RCMP responded a little before 2 a.m. to a collision between a semi and pedestrian on Highway 16, about 8 kilometers west of the city. The pedestrian, a 32-year-old from Canoe Narrows, was declared deceased at the scene by local EMS. His family has been notified. The driver reported no injuries to police. The cause of the collision is being investigated by RCMP. Guns and drugs were seized during the search of a home in Tisdale yesterday. RCMP executed a search warrant on a home and a vehicle on 102nd Street in Tisdale as part of an ongoing investigation. Officers found and seized fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine, cash, 3 loaded firearms, and 8 imitation firearms. 36-year-old Craig Patterson of Tisdale is scheduled to appear in provincial court on Monday. A Saskatchewan pilot is suffering from serious injuries after his spray plane crashed near the U.S. border. RCMP say it happened on Wednesday morning near Beaubeer, south of Radville. The Transportation Safety Board says the plane was doing aerial application when it crashed before 11 a.m. The plane landed upside down and a fire broke out, destroying the plane and leaving the pilot seriously burned. He's been identified as Evan Hansen. The family says he was airlifted to Edmonton for treatment, and they're now focused on his recovery. But they say they do appreciate the outpouring of support. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency is temporarily grounding 3 of its Bird Dog aircraft from firefighting efforts as a precaution. The SPSA says a full review of the 3 Bird Dog planes is being done out of an abundance of caution after the same model of aircraft was involved in a deadly crash in the Northwest Territories. All 3 people on board the plane were killed. It's not known how long the safety review could take or a possible timeline for getting the Bird Dogs back in the air. The planes are primarily used to spot wildfires in Saskatchewan. 4 additional Bird Dogs are still available to support current wildfire fighting efforts and brought in an additional air support from out of province. Residents in Melville are hosting an event to recognize the 2 RCMP officers shot while on duty last month. The community says it's having a barbecue and silent auction with more than 100 items. The proceeds will be split between the families of the injured officers. Organizers say interest in supporting the officers was so high they had to change venues to accommodate all the members of the community.
The community of Melville and surrounding area, and I'd even say the community of Canada, has been exceptional during this very difficult time for our officers and for our community as a whole.
The fundraiser will be held Saturday from 11 to 3 at the CN Community Centre in Melville. Residents and visitors to Saskatchewan can try their hand at fishing for free this weekend. The 37th annual Free Fishing Weekend is July 11th and 12th. No license is needed to go fishing in the province's lakes and rivers, with the exception of inside national parks. The province says catch limits, size restrictions, and provincial regulations are still in effect during Free Fishing Weekend. Residents are encouraged to check the provincial government website for more information at saskatchewan.ca/fishing. A decision to not hire a former women's basketball coach on a full-time basis at the University of Regina is under scrutiny. The man who was originally set to get the job is now taking the school to court. Donovan Mace has more.
A women's basketball coach is suing the University of Regina. He was hired to become the program's new head coach, but the university walked back the decision after facing public backlash. According to court documents filed with the Court of King's Bench in Regina, Jordan Webb accepted and signed a contract to become the Cougars women's basketball coach in mid-April. The lawsuit outlines Webb signed a 3-year deal worth nearly $92,000 per year in salary and other benefits. Webb had previously served as the women's basketball assistant coach with Simon Fraser University from 2019 through last season, being initially selected for the position over former interim head coach Michaela Kleisinger, a decision which sparked criticism from advocates, leading to an internal investigation by the university into its hiring process. That investigation finding Kleisinger's strong competitive record as interim coach, as well as her deep connection to the institution and the broader community, were not given the necessary weight and merit, and she was offered the position at the end of April. Webb's lawsuit claims for reasons which were entirely political, personal, and/or gender-related, the University of Regina decided to breach the subject contract by terminating Webb and hiring another person for the underlying role, adding the university's course of conduct has been callous, reprehensible, and in bad faith. CTV News reached out to the university regarding the claims on Friday, but the U of R declining a response, saying it would be inappropriate to comment on the pending legal matter. Now, the University of Victoria recently announcing Webb's hiring as he joins the Vikes women's basketball program as lead assistant coach. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
Today is the official launch of Country Thunder, but that's not the only thing attendees have been made aware of. Country Thunder campers in Craven are bracing for a hot weekend as temperatures are expected to climb. Erica Madarash reports.
Country Thunder campers are getting settled in for a weekend of music and fun. Temperatures are expected to climb over the course of the weekend, and with limited natural shade, many festival goers are getting creative to stay comfortable throughout the weekend. Some longtime campers say shade and teamwork are part of the festival routine. Neighbors pool resources, share shade, and find ways to cool off while having fun.
The way we set up all of our trailers in our area, the awnings kind of touch each other. We give each other some shade, get some water out, kind of have some fun with some squirt guns, and just kind of play around with it and just enjoy it.
Festival organizers say hydration is a top priority, with free refill stations and first aid teams on site. Staff are reminding attendees to drink water frequently, especially with temperatures forecast in the mid-30s on Saturday and Sunday.
We will actually have a water refill station that we partnered with SaskTel to bring, so people can refill for free all weekend long.
Campers are bringing coolers, sunscreen, and portable fans, and organizers advise pacing yourself throughout the day, limiting alcohol during hot hours, and taking frequent breaks in the shade.
We encourage people to enjoy them, but also drink responsibly and mix in a water if you can to stay cool.
With thousands expected over the weekend, staying hydrated and using shade wisely will help keep the party going and reduce the risk of heat-related illness.
So hang on to your cowboy hats for this weekend's Country Thunder in Craven to beat the heat. Erica Madarash,
CTV News, Craven.
Still to come, high gas prices have some rethinking their summer road trip plans. Also, local businesses who overpaid for meat react to the Canadian beef class action settlement. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. If you have travel plans for this weekend, you're likely paying close attention to gas prices. They surged today in many parts of the country, but the weekend outlook may surprise you. A drop in prices is expected despite renewed hostilities between the U.S. and Iran this week. With the latest, here's John Venevali-Rao.
North of Toronto, motorists headed for cottage country were frustrated the price to fill up has once again gone up.
Of course, it's not good. What can we do? There's nothing we can control, right?
Overnight, gas surging about 5 cents a liter.
It's very expensive, but I know that there's issues right now in the world.
For Brian Comart, it's making it more costly to haul his trailer from Chatham, Ontario to Algonquin Park.
I bet you the whole trip's going to be the $400 of gas. Easy.
Across the country, prices were up, back to nearly $2 in Vancouver for regular unleaded, while the national average is around $1.72. And if you thought the resumption of hostilities between the U.S. and Iran this week will push prices up further, forecaster Dan McTagg says they're actually headed down this weekend.
It's dropping 2 cents a liter on Saturday and likely 3 or 4 cents a liter on Sunday. That's counterintuitive to economic fundamentals. A shortage and high demand means prices go up, not down.
In fact, the price for oil hasn't jumped as much as one might have expected. West Texas Intermediate crude started the week at $69 U.S. a barrel and did surge to $76 after the U.S. president declared the ceasefire was over, but it's since fallen to around $71. Experts say the market so far has essentially learned to shrug off the conflict.
I think the new normal is that we're going to see skirmishes from time to time between Iran and the U.S., interspersed with periods of relative calm, allowing tankers to enter the Persian Gulf, load crude oil, and then depart.
But McTagg thinks prices could jump by the end of the month as the U.S. continues to draw down on its strategic reserve of oil.
We might be getting temporarily a reprieve in the short term, but the long term will be higher prices for an extended period of time.
And there is one more wild card, the hurricane season. Experts say if a major storm were to hit U.S. refineries on the Gulf Coast, that would put further price pressure at the pumps here. John Venevali-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
The Calgary Stampede is attracting thousands every day, and the Canada Strong Pass is giving no-cost access to national parks. But it's making some uneasy about the free ride. Tyler Barrow explains.
World-class destination Lake Louise draws visitors from around the globe.
We live outside of Houston, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. The States, North Carolina.
Belfast in Ireland.
Sydney, Australia. Speaking with 20 different groups at Lake Louise, 4 were from Canada, 6 United States, and 10 elsewhere in the world. They picked the right time to come. As of June 19th, entering to national parks is free with the Canada Strong Pass.
We didn't know that up front. That existed.
I didn't look at that, see if it was free or not.
It was quite surprising that you could run through all the national parks for free over the summer break.
Free access for everyone was a Mark Carney 2025 campaign promise, now renewed for a second year. It was meant to encourage Canadians to travel within the country amid a trade war with the United States. But it's also free for anyone, while the Trump administration is charging foreigners for access to its national parks.
We're expecting to see the same, and part of that is because of the Canada Strong Pass incentivizing day visitors into the town.
Banff's mayor says the pass causes additional pressures, pointing to nearly 7 million vehicles passing through last summer, a record. Independent Senator and former Banff Mayor Karen Sorensen says the Canada Strong Pass drives more visitation to already popular destinations and worries this has exacerbated issues with overcrowding and traffic congestion for tourists and residents alike. One longtime resident shares those concerns.
The town definitely doesn't need any more volume, especially traffic-wise.
Here at the town's farmers market, this vendor is on board.
A lot of people are coming into Banff, and this small town kind of runs off tourism, so to have the more people, the better.
A sentiment shared with at least one restaurant owner.
I appreciate the fact that people can come and visit and make travel more affordable for them as well.
The pass runs until September 7th. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Banff.
In butcher shops and markets across the country, the price of beef has risen steadily. There's now allegations that 2 international suppliers are involved in price fixing. Adrian Gabriel with the proposed $8 million class action lawsuit settlement that you might be able to take a bite out of.
An allegation that's been tough for Canadians to digest.
Premium Canadian
wholesale beef giants JBS and National Beef have been accused of price fixing, driving up the cost of red meat in Canada. While not an admission of guilt, combined, the two companies have offered to pony up $8 million as part of a class action lawsuit settlement. Restaurants won't be able to cash in on the lawsuit, though Canadian consumers can, as will butcher shops who purchase beef for resale. Inside a last meat market in Toronto, they sell JBS beef. Owner George Laganis praises the quality of their cuts, though he admits allegations that one of his suppliers may have taken part in price fixing has been difficult for consumers to stomach.
It leaves a bad taste in customers' mouths because we see a large increase in prices quickly.
As part of the settlement agreement, JBS has agreed to pay out more than $7 million. National Beef has committed to forking over $495,000. The amount individual Canadians can expect has yet to be determined. Even though JBS has agreed to pay out millions, an email from a company spokesperson says in part, "We believe the claims are without merit, and the agreement was entered into solely to avoid the expense and uncertainty of prolonged litigation." Again, it says he'd rather see more regulations limiting the price that large wholesalers can charge for red meat.
They're going to pay out the $7.5 million. Great, everybody's going to be happy. Where's that going to come from? It's going to come from the customer's pocket again. So it's just a vicious circle.
For Canadians who want to add their names to the class action lawsuit, the courts are expected to approve a payment process in the months ahead. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
Canada used to be the top export market for American wines, but in the face of provincial booze bans, the market share dropped to just 12%. And while U.S. lawmakers are ramping up calls to drop the bans, Canadian booze sellers want premiers to stand firm. Abigail Bimman explains from Ottawa.
Thanks to the ban on American booze, Ontario's Westcott Vineyards is expanding, and liquor store sales have jumped 600%.
We are leaning into this and expect our business to continue to grow, whether those products come back or not.
Owner Carolyn Hurst is happy to keep the ban in place and wants premiers to stand their ground.
It's been incredibly effective for small producers like us. Every dollar that's been spent on an Ontario wine and on a Westcott wine has gone right back into the province of Ontario.
There are new pushes from American lawmakers to get rid of the ban. California Senator Adam Schiff posted it's causing devastating harm. He sent this letter to Quebec's premier asking her to rescind it. While New York Congresswoman Claudia Tenney launched legislation to investigate Canada for unfair trade practices called the Combating Attacks on Our National Alcoholic Drinks by Allies, or Canada Act.
Just want to get this deal done, and then we'll put that booze back on the shelves.
Ontario has held firm, while Quebec's premier's office told us in a statement this measure will remain in effect as long as the United States maintains these unjustified tariffs.
Canada is violating our own trade agreement with the Americans.
Former trade advisor to Stephen Harper, Meredith Lilly, believes the province is overstepped.
I expect that there is a dance happening behind the scenes, and it would be my preference if the provinces took cues from the federal government. It's my hope that the federal government is seeking to get them back on the shelves.
Lilly says the ban is a tricky situation to unwind. Ottawa can't publicly call for it to be removed if the premiers hold firm. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Hi, I'm Howard. I am the coordinator of Sticks and Stones Blind Curling.
And I'm Charlene, secretary of the league.
We're standing in front of Canadian Tire of Preston Crossing here in Saskatoon to just let you know of an event that we're hosting in March of 2027. This event will bring together blind curlers all across Western Canada, and we will host them here in Saskatoon at the CN Curling Club from March 17th till March 21st.
And we're raising funds for this event by hosting a barbecue on Saturday, July 11th, and Sunday, July 12th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Hope to see you all there.
What's the weather like, Jeff?
Well, Howard and Charlene, it looks like it's going to be a hot one, but you'll be serving up some terrific food there on Saturday and Sunday at Canadian Tire Preston Crossing. So let's check in on those numbers. So it'll be reasonably decent when you start out, but as the day goes on, things are going to get quite warm. So get on that sunblock and get out there and support the Blind Curling League. Mainly cloudy skies, light winds tomorrow with a high of 31 mid-afternoon. Similar situation on Sunday because it is a two-day event there at the Canadian Tire Preston Crossing location, and of course the big curling event coming up in March of next year. 27 degrees the current temperature in Saskatoon. Prince Albert dealing with a thunderstorm right now. 20 degrees, 23 in the Battlefords under sunny skies. And we can tell you we did have a thunderstorm in Saskatoon around 4 o'clock or thereabouts, but it looks like it was localized to areas south of the city. And we'll talk a little bit about the situation with regard to funnel clouds in a moment or two. 29 degrees for a high in Saskatoon. 25 is typical for this time of year. Record warm temperature 37 in 1937. The record cold temperature 4 from 1932. So a couple of big hits there from the 1930s. And the sun is going to go down 9:25.
Coming up, a museum exhibit featuring things from the video gaming world. It highlights the role of Canadian developers who have shaped the gaming industry.
Canadian music royalty is coming to Saskatchewan. Monday on Your Morning, we are in conversation with Paul Langlois of the Tragically Hip, who is on his way to Regina.
All right, take a look through the live lens of Skycam. Right now, things look pretty placid, but that was not the case earlier today, particularly south of Saskatoon. We had reports of big-time rain in the Stonebridge area. Jeremy Dodge is telling us about that. But these pictures come to us courtesy of Matt and Terry Lynn Honorowski. And this was the view just before 4 o'clock, about 6 kilometers south of Dundurn, sort of in the Blackstrap area, west of Highway 11. And I think we have a second set of pictures here as well. Oh, that's it. Okay, they snuck up on me. So the bottom line is, yeah, you definitely some funnel clouds. I'm sure the Northern Tornado Project will be out to check in on that. And want to say thanks to Terry Lynn's dad, Bob, for sharing these photos with us. So thank you very much for keeping us up to date on what's going on outside of Saskatoon when it comes to this potentially dangerous weather. Some potentially dangerous situations brewing up as this system slides across north of Prince Albert. Prince Albert dealing with a thunderstorm right now. But let's take a look at some numbers, and then we'll show you where the watch boxes and warning boxes are. So 27 in Saskatoon, thunderstorm, and 20 in Prince Albert, and 23 in the Battlefords under sunny skies. The hot spot in the province, that was Moose Jaw at 31, Key Lake 7 degrees, the cold spot. So here's the temperatures as we go around the province. 22 in Lloydminster, 28 in Swift Current and Estevan, 30 in both Moose Jaw and Regina, 26 in Yorkton. Into central Saskatchewan, temperatures, well, a little bit on the cool side because Spiritwood and Waskesiu have likely dealt with some rainfall. So in the high teens, it gets into the high 20s for Rosetown and the Saskatoon area, Hudson Bay, all around those higher temperatures on the 20-degree scale. But some warm temperatures to be sure. Up north, temperatures in the 20s in many parts of northern Saskatchewan. La Ronge is just 19 degrees down south. We've got ourselves 29 degrees in a couple of places, in a few places rather. Elbow, Last Mountain, Maple Creek, and Weyburn. And still, if it's below 29, it's still pretty warm at 25 in Broadview right now. And so we've got some warm temperatures in southern Saskatchewan. Now, here's our future cast. We see that active weather sliding into Manitoba, but there's another impulse coming through again, and this could be, spotted across the province. Looks like it's mostly concentrated in northern areas, north of Prince Albert, probably north of Meadow Lake, but a little pockets of active weather are showing up just south of Saskatoon and north of Regina, so we'll have to keep our eye on that. Heat warnings in effect for the province, and right now there's a tornado warning in effect for the area in and around Leroy, Lanigan, and Jansen. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of southeastern Saskatchewan as well. Temperatures in the mid to high 20s for northern Saskatchewan tomorrow. A similar temperature pattern, high 20s, low 30s for west central Saskatchewan. Down in the southwest, whoo-wee! Temperatures getting up to 35 in Maple Creek and still pretty warm in Leader and Outlook and Swift Current, all in the 30s, and 30-degree temperatures in and around that 33-degree mark for southeastern Saskatchewan. And yes, it's going to be a hot day in east central Saskatchewan with temperatures temperatures in the high 20s, low 30s on Saturday. For Prince Albert, the Battlefords rather dropping down to 13 degrees, a risk of a severe thunderstorm, 29 tomorrow for a high. And then as we go forward, temperatures staying on the high side of seasonal for a few days, and then a chance of showers on Wednesday. And 1 week from today, a possibility of a thunderstorm. Prince Albert's overnight temperature, 13 degrees, risk of a thunderstorm, mainly cloudy skies on Saturday, 28, 29 on Sunday, and then temperatures hanging around that 25-degree mark for the following 5 days. And Saskatoon, there's still a chance of some showers and a risk of a severe thunderstorm. And then tomorrow, mainly cloudy skies, 31, but it will feel closer to 40 with the humidex factored in. And then staying in the 30s for Sunday, and then cooling off a little bit, but still close to seasonal or slightly above for the rest of the 7 days. The song is Faded Blue Jeans, and that's from Shania Twain's new album, Little Miss Twain. That's Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age on vocals helping out. The song, written by Shania, apparently references one of her own teenage relationships and reflects on the, quote, unwavering belief that young love could last forever, end quote. A classic TV show. Mr. Ingalls. A classic TV show reboot that was filmed on our Canadian prairies is now streaming. Little House on the Prairie debuted on Netflix yesterday. Although set in the Western American frontier in the late 1800s, the 8-episode series was shot in and around Winnipeg. And they're still filming, because just last month the series was renewed for a 2nd season. Cineplex says the debut of Toy Story 5 last month marked its biggest domestic opening weekend of 2026. Revenues were up by $4 million this June compared to last year. And that's strong demand. There's strong demand for the latest scary movie title, Steven Spielberg's Disclosure Day, not to mention Obsession and Backrooms. The company says box office concession and revenue topped the mark set in 2019 before the pandemic. That's nice, but yeah, it jumped up by 6%, but inflation since 2019 has been 20%. So I guess the math doesn't work out exactly.
There's the fly in the ointment, right, Jeff?
I'm just a buzzkill.
Well, speaking of buzzkills, since I'm the substitute, we got to break a few rules. So we've got an additional photo here for today's pick of the day.
We do. We're going to start off with this one. We've got some great night shots here. This one comes from Nicholas. Lightning storm, July 8th, just east of Canwood. That is a great shot. Fantastic. Dave sends us this one. Sunday evening, just south of Vanscoy. It looks rather placid. Very, very nice. So thank you, Dave. And then from Gina, one of our regular contributors, Sunday project at the lake. Castle complete with the moat bridge and placing live ladybugs atop the tower. One is still visible. You can see it right there. All right, diligent work by an industrious youngster. Enjoy. We did enjoy that. And finally from Michelle, take it in Stonebridge in Saskatoon. I thought the clouds looked like a fiery dragon about to eat the train. And you know, once I take a closer look, I can see that. And my name's not Rorschach. So there you go. Thank you for sharing that with us, Michelle. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can certainly do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, or you can scan that QR code on the screen.
Still to come on CTV News, a trip down memory lane. A BC Museum exhibit highlights Canada's role in the gaming industry.
Your Morning Minute is brought to you by Co-op.
Standing here in the summer sun with Tyler Dunn, and we're talking about how to turn $50 into $75,000 or a brand new truck. Tyler, how do we do it?
Yeah, it's our Find Your Summer sweepstakes, which started last week and runs till the end of August. So basically save your $50 receipt at any of our home centers, gas bars, convenience stores, food stores, and enter it at findyoursummer.crs for a chance to win. Like you said, the Ford F-150, $75,000. Yeah.
Fantastic. And that, of course, is the grand prize. But there are other prizes, and there's bonus codes, too?
Yeah, you'll find bonus codes on our social media, on our app, throughout our stores. Enter those bonus codes on the website for a chance to win, too.
Perfect. Lots of instant win stuff. You can enter and get all the details at findyoursummer.crs. CTV, Your Morning Saskatchewan, airs Monday to Friday from 6 to 9 on CTV in Craig.
The Museum of Vancouver has a new pop-up exhibition celebrating video games and the important role developers in British Columbia and across Canada have played in shaping the industry. Kevin Chirac takes us on a trip down video game memory lane.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
From the world's biggest sports games to a pioneering first-person shooter, BC has left its mark on the video game industry.
Every one of these games was developed in Vancouver.
Ryan Dunnison runs the new Canadian Video Game Museum pop-up at the Museum of Vancouver.
Our industry turned over 50, actually, very recently in the past couple of years. And so we're at this new stage where we're starting to lose a lot of that early history. And so we thought it was really important to keep a hold of some of that.
In addition to modern-day mega hits, the exhibit features games like Desert Fox, produced by Sydney Development Corporation in the mid-'80s. There are also locally developed educational games featuring maps of BC and other made-in-Canada titles that many visitors may remember.
This exhibit explores some of the first gaming systems ever created, including ColecoVision, developed in Montreal.
The interactive exhibit lets visitors play locally developed games while learning how the industry has evolved over the years.
Yeah, I thought it really interesting, and especially the whole link to Vancouver.
When we're talking so much about preservation in video games and how do you continue to do that, how do you continue to store and preserve things, particularly in a digital era, that it really made sense for us to start finding some space for them to do that.
The volunteer-run pop-up is open till October, but depending on public interest, could one day become a permanent exhibit.
What we'd like for people to get out of it is mostly just to see some of the amazing things that have been done here over time.
Dunnison says more donations and displays are expected to fill the space in the coming weeks. Kevin Chirac, CTV News, Vancouver.
When we come back, hear from Saskatchewan's first two-time world champion cheerleader. And with summer heat on the way, a spicy treat idea gaining popularity.
Here's what's happening in our community. The TD Sask Jazz Fest is underway and runs until Saturday. There are free shows and ticketed events. Artists, showtimes, and venue details are all online. As You Like It and Julius Caesar are this summer's offerings from the Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan Festival. You can catch these professional productions from July 14th to August 23rd. You can submit your community event by visiting our website and clicking on Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
All right, here we go with the forecast for our rural areas for tomorrow, and it's gonna be hot. Some places getting into the low 30s, but many places in the high 20s, so a warm day to say the least. And the good news is when we take a look at the icons, it looks like things are calming down, at least in terms of temperatures. Now, with the hot temperatures and all the moisture out there, we could see some clouds show up in daytime heating, and some of those clouds could turn into some thunderstorms, so we have to keep our eye on the skies as we roll into tomorrow. But look at that, 31 degrees for Watches, Wynyard, and Hudson Bay under mainly sunny skies, 32 for Outlook, 33 for Kindersley, making our way down south, 35 for Maple Creek. In fact, everyone on this part of our map in the 30s, so it's going to be a hot one in the Southland as well. So lots of sunshine out there, so please take care of your skin when you're out and about. What about Manor? Well, Manor, mainly sunny skies, 33 degrees. I was in a play about Manor, or at least inspired by the Cannington Manor area down there. It's a very interesting part of Saskatchewan's history, and Manor is going to be getting up to 33 degrees, mainly sunny skies, winds out of the southeast to 20, and Manor is one of the places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders are preparing to host the Hamilton Tiger Cats on Sunday at Mosaic Stadium. It is the first game Hamilton will be without its star quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, who suffered a leg injury last week. That means Jake Dolegala will get the start against his former team. Dolegala spent 2 seasons with the Riders in 2022 and 23. He backed up Cody Fajardo and Trevor Harris in those seasons, playing 15 games, starting 9, throwing for almost 2,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, and just 11 interceptions.
It's a crappy situation. You know, I feel for Bo and his family, but that's football, right? So next guy's got to be up. But yeah, I'm excited. Excited to lead these guys and go get a win.
He's for sure a leader. You know, he's got a lot of reps under his belt by now, and you know he's going to be able to do everything he needs to do to be able to help them win. You know, they got playmakers that are going to be able to help him.
As Edmonton beat Ottawa last night, the Riders are now 1 win behind the West leading Elks. Hamilton lost to Winnipeg last week, and they are second in the East. Kickoff on Sunday from Mosaic Stadium is at 5. A cheerleader from Regina has made history as the first 2-time world champion. Ava Proby won her first world championship as a member of the Rebels Smoke in 2022. Then she moved to Florida in 2024 to join the Top Gun All-Stars. In April, Proby won her second world championship, and she says she never imagined the results when she began the sport at 5 years old.
I've never even thought about that. It's amazing watching the sport grow and being able to be a part of inspiring some kids to grow and wanting to push themselves to keep going in the sport, because it is an amazing sport and it deserves more credit for what we do.
Proby says she wants to push herself and try out for as many high-level teams as she can before the end of her career. The latest job numbers from Statistics Canada were released today. For today's business report, here's Matt Scooby.
Statistics Canada says the economy added 18,000 jobs last month, mostly in part-time and private sector work. Now, that led to a small dip in the unemployment rate to 6.5%. Economists pointing to young people taking advantage of the openings of bars and hotels when Canada hosted World Cup games. Now, it wasn't all good news. Manufacturing shed 17,000 positions as tariffs continue to weigh on that sector. The Bank of Canada will use the report as its final barometer of the economy ahead of next week's interest rate decision. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar up 8 cents to finish at 70.64 US. West Texas Intermediate off 67 cents, ending at 71.60 a barrel. Western Canadian Select also down slightly to 57.39. And the TSX had a modest gain of 105 points to end the week at 35.305. Those are your business headlines. I'm Matt Scooby.
Coming up, your taste buds won't know what hit them when you try this sweet and spicy summer treat. Then raising the stakes for grocery store workers as they find out who's the best in the biz.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Get comfortable and settle in with these top shows all right here tonight on CTV.
Spring break murders followed by crime scene investigators. Well, one follows the other.
Just don't leave your house and you'll be all right, eh? There you go. Hey, speaking of summer and hot heat and everything, trying to beat the heat, watermelon, a popular summer snack, of course, and some people in southwest China, they're enjoying it with a spicy twist. Visitors to this water park are lining up for spicy watermelon. It's seasoned with a generous dusting of chili powder and then threaded onto skewers, making it a nice handheld snack. And people are describing it as sweet, refreshing, bold, and spicy. And Jeff, you said you would have it.
I think this could take off because it's like, you know, adding that savory to the sweetness and the spice, that'd be kind of nice.
There you go. I would probably maybe put cinnamon on there, but that's probably just...
That might be good too.
You never know.
All right.
Well, if you're looking for cinnamon, you might be going to the grocery store, Jeff, and grocery workers in Wisconsin. They are facing off in the Great Wisconsin Bag Off.
I'm feeling all right. I knew I was gonna get like top place, but I didn't know I would win. But like, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good.
The competition recognizing cashiers and baggers by testing their professional skills. Contestants are judged on speed, weight distribution, and overall technique and style. The winners from each district will soon meet in a state final. And do you think they win Employee of the Month if they are
I hope they win more than that. This is a really special skill, and it's going away because not too many things are like that anymore. So a lovely shot of the South Saskatchewan, and we want to say thank you to these people who help us each and every day. You know what? I'm going to read these ones at 6. I don't often get to do that. Darcy Clayton, Shane Corrigan, Clint Dolan, J.S. Mills, Jeb Runquist, Corey Toman, Zach Greenhorn, Kelly Singer, Chris Parapelkin, Dale Cooper, Chad Hills, Dan Shingoose, Lisa Ford, and J.C. Garden. So good night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Keep safe.